Chase Jackson, founder of Energy Easy, providing personal and professional vitality. Topic of our short video today is on epigenetics. Epigenetics is the study of factors outside of genes that affect their expression. What does this mean? It was always thought that our genes were carved in stone from the moment that we entered into this world. That each of us, because of our genes, may be predisposed to certain diseases, or we may be predisposed to certain behaviors because of the genes that we have within us and because these are the genes that we were born with. Recent medical revelations within the new field of epigenetics has shown that this is not true. Our environment affects the way our genes are expressed, and our genes are constantly evolving and changing. So as we look toward our future and our future selves of who we want to be, it is important to recognize that there are many different potential versions of us, and it will largely be determined by our environment in terms of who we are and how our genes are expressed. This is awesome. Epigenetics. How we live our lives determines how our genes are expressed. What we eat, how much love we get, what pollution and toxic chemicals that we surround ourselves with, how we move, what we think, what different stressors we let affect us, all affect our genetic expression. And these are all things that can affect our future vitality moving forward. Epigenetics. Our environment affects our genetic expression. As we showed on our last frame, it is not just our physical environment, it's also how we think, what we eat, what type of connections we have with other people, how much love we get. But for me personally, my physical environment has always had a large effect on my functionality and my happiness and just my overall well-being. And it makes me think, one of our earlier videos was on Da Vinci and Leonardo da Vinci and the 7 characteristics that separated him from other people in his era, which made him great. And Da Vinci, when he painted his beautiful pictures, wore the finest clothes and listened to the highest quality music and kind of surrounded himself with beauty so he can make his beautiful pictures, right? So the physical environment for me personally has a huge effect on my functionality, and I can say now that it does have an effect on my genetic expression as well. Epigenetics. The epigenetics industry is growing at an exponential rate. In 2011, it was $1 billion industry. By 2017, it is supposed to be, or it's on track to be, an $8 billion industry. The pharmaceutical and medical industries are all over this in looking at ways to treat cancer, heart disease, and other ailments which ail American society. Bringing financial vitality to our listeners. If you're looking for where to invest in stock, invest in the epigenetic industry. $1 billion to $8 billion. The effects the environment can have on our genes can be passed down to generation, which is wild. A couple examples of this is there was a study done on pregnant women who endured the Dutch famine after World War II, and where and when they were in their pregnancy largely determined whether their child had obesity issues and anxiety and hypertension disorder. Why is that? It's because babies who were, or pregnant women who were dealing with this famine, their fetuses within them were preparing themselves to enter into the world, into this bad environment. So they were storing extra glucose in their brains. So because they were getting to preparing themselves that when they had the chance to eat, then they would want to store as much as possible. This is wild. Another example is when looking in the Chinese famine, such a biologically stressful event can affect gene expression up to 4 generations down the line. So the environment that we put ourselves in can affect future generations of our families. So something to recognize moving forward. Epigenetics. So wrapping up, Chase Jackson, founder of Energy Easy, providing personal and professional vitality. What does epigenetics have to do with that? Everything. What we think, the environment that we live, what we let stress us and cause anxiety within us, the relationships we build, the love we give, the love we receive, all affects our vitality and all affects who we are and all affects our genetic expression. Epigenetics.